We're getting closer and closer to the holiday of Pesach. One of our favorite activities is checking out some of the brand new Haggadahs. Our friends at Mosaica Press Feldheim it's a Mosaica Press publication. Feldheim distributes it. Have released the brand new Haggadah Shel Pesach entitled the Rhyme and Reason Haggadah, a poetic translation with rhyming explanation. It is written by Rabbi Reuven Lowy, who I must say has some poetic talent, to say the least. I enjoyed reading this as I sit over Shabbos and checking out how he tells the story and how he offers some of the reviews and explanations about the Haggadah in poetic form. Rabbi Reuven Lowy, a pleasure to welcome you to JM in the AM.
Thank you, Nachum. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
So tell me about the concept. How did you come up? I mean, there's so many Haggadahs out there. I'm sure you know that. How did you come up with this unique idea of examining the Haggadah, telling the story of the Haggadah, transmitting the information of the Haggadah in a rhyme and poetic fashion?
So I actually talk about where I got the idea in the preface. You could read it, or I could spoil it for you now.
Yeah, please.
All right. So it says in the preface that, pretty simple, actually. One Pesach a couple years ago, I was just looking at a translation of the Haggadah, standard translation, and I happened to notice, hey, there's something here that rhymes. And, some people might have just moved on from there and not thought too much more about it. But since I've been writing poems ever since I was young, and it's a big hobby of mine, I said, hey, maybe I'm onto something. And so the Rhyme and Reason Haggadah was born.
Do you remember what it was, that original rhyme that you took notice of?
Not the exact words, but it was something like they needed to about the carbon Pesach, or about the matzah, why they had to have matzah and not bread. They had no time for delay, something about provisions for the way, something like that.
Rabbi Reuven Lowy is with us live via telephone. How long does it take to do this? I mean, you just said you're proficient at writing poetry since you're young. That obviously gives you a big advantage. I mean, is this something that just comes to you, that you could sit down and within minutes have a beautiful poem?
As long as I'm in the right mood, it can come pretty fast, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool, actually. It's a great skill to have. It's a wonderful talent to have. And here you go, applying it to the Haggadah Shel Pesach. How did you decide which parts of the Haggadah deserve a rhyming poem and which ones you're just going to include as, a piece of the Haggadah?
That's a good question. Well, almost all of Maggid has a rhyming accompaniment. Even, right. Even the nice thing is that even like pages of drushas and stuff like that people might just gloss over, all of that has a rhyme for it. So it's something that would make parts that otherwise people wouldn't think about more interesting, and that they'll actually look at.
Right, when there's a story or there's some type of, if there's action, it's easier to come up with a rhyming poem, right? I mean, it has different components to it. It's obviously easier to do that, right? Would that be accurate?
Sorry, I missed that.
If there's actually some activity in the paragraph. I'll give you an example. Rabbi Lowy, would you mind if I recited one of your poems to give our audience an idea of what you did here?
It would be my pleasure. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So this is the Rhyme and Reason Haggadah, a poetic translation with rhyming explanation. Rabbi Reuven Lowy, the author, is with us live via telephone. Many of you are familiar with the passage that we say in the Haggadah about the great rabbis who are sitting in Bnei Brak, and they're talking about Yetzias Mitzrayim, which is, of course, the requirement all through Seder night. And then these students come and tell them it's time for Kriya Shema. Here is how Rabbi Lowy transmits the message of that paragraph. He writes, "It happened once on Pesach night 5 sages chose to come unite. In Bnei Brak, they all reclined at a Seder where they dined. And our story they did tell. They really told it very well. Keeping at it all night long until their students came along. The message that they came to share was about the daily prayer. They wished to give them all a warning. The time had come for Shema of mourning. And that's pretty cool, Rabbi. That's a good one.
Also, you wouldn't believe it. I'm actually open to that page right now, and you have excellent taste. That is my favorite poem in Haggadah.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. And I'll tell you, it's funny because what do we as adults always get concerned about as we approach Seder night? We get concerned that the younger people, the teenagers, and everybody will take an interest in the Seder and won't mind or will be enthusiastic about sitting through whatever length of time it takes to go through Maggid and all the different parts of the Seder and the requirements of what needs to be said. And I think the poetry, just like people come up with games and questions and, different things to keep the kids and the teenagers interested, I think poetry could do that. I think if people would read some of these during the Haggadah, during the Seder, I think they'll get the attention of a lot of people around the table. Did you feel that it's a great educational tool in that way?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Rhymes have a way of sticking with people that other types of words, standard translation would not necessarily have the power to do.
Right. And I think it just makes it a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, and really keeps everybody's attention, to say the least. I'll do one more for you, Rabbi Lowy, if I may. You ready for this one?
Sure.
Everybody out there is familiar with the fact that during the Seder, we quote Rabban Gamliel that there are 3 things that must be said at the Seder. And one of them, of course, is of the Pesach, meaning the Korban Pesach, the sacrifice. Matzah is the second. And Maror, the bitter herbs, is the third. And Rabbi Lowy writes as follows: Rabbi Gamliel used to say that if 3 things have not been said, then you haven't done the mitzvah, even if all else was read. The things that he declares are ones that all of us must mention are Pesach, Matzah, Maror. Yes, they must have our attention. I'm telling you, I like this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you want, you could even, for parts of it, you could even, sing it in a Grauman tune or something like that, if that makes you happy.
It's a good point. Yeah, people, if you're gonna head out and purchase this Haggadah, that's actually a great thing to do. Erev Pesach is to point out to yourself some of the poems that are here and the fun ones that you think would really wake up the family and get them to pay even more attention to Seder night. Rabbi Reuven Lowy is with us live via telephone. So, what happened when you came to the publisher with this idea? Were they enthusiastic about it? How'd they react to the whole thing?
They were very excited. Actually, went to several publishers before Mosaica Press, and for various reasons, they weren't into the idea, or they were into the idea, but it wasn't the type of thing that they were looking to publish. And I contacted Mosaica Press, and less than 24 hours later, I got this super excited email that they're like, wow, this is great. We really want to do this.
Wow, very nice. And there you go. And I'm assuming it's available everywhere at this point?
Yeah, a Feldheim distributor does a really good job of getting it around.
All right, so it's in all the Judaica stores, and I would assume online as well?
Yeah, online. Mosaica Press has it on their website and all the stores. I think it's even on Amazon.
What did you do with Dayenu, by the way? Did you leave it intact, or did you put the Rabbi Lowy touch on it?
That's a great question. So with Dayenu and with all the other songs in the Haggadah, the songs in Nirtza,
right?
I didn't do a rhyming translation per se, but I actually left Dayenu completely alone. If you notice, we were talking about the rhymes, but the nice thing about this Haggadah is that Mosaica was kind enough to include the standard Hebrew, a regular translation, and the rhyming translation, which you could compare and contrast. And so for Dayenu, I left Dayenu alone with the regular translation, and what I did was instead I took the paragraph of Al Achas Kama V'Kama that comes right afterwards, which is basically the same material,
right, and
translated that in rhyme instead.
I like the fact that they included, or you included, the Korban Pesach at the beginning as well. A lot of people don't realize that that's a tradition to say Erev Pesach, and you included that as well. And one thing I won't spoil the suspense or the surprise. let people discover it on their own. And that is what you did with the Esser Makos with the 10 plagues. Good job on that one. A lot of good rhymes and a lot of good messages in there.
Right. That's also an example of the reason to the Rhyme and Reason Haggadah, because if you just tried to translate them, it could be pretty hard pressed to come up with rhymes.
Right, 100%. No question about it. All right, everybody, I call your attention to Rabbi Reuven Lowy's Haggadah. It's called the Rhyme and Reason Haggadah, a poetic translation with rhyming explanation. I really think it'll enhance your Seder, and that people of all ages, not just the kids and teens, but really everybody around the table will enjoy whatever poems of Rabbi Lowy you decide to include in your Seder. You can go to the Mosaica Press website. It's distributed by Feldheim. It's in all of the Judaica stores. You can buy it online, or you can get it when you head to the store to shop before Pesach. All right, Lowy, anything else you'd like to add, sir?
A couple other things. One thing you didn't ask about is, poets always have the ability, if they choose, to use poetic license.
Right. Good point.
So a place where that came up for me in the Haggadah,
yeah,
which is also my favorite rhyme in the book, not my favorite poem in the book, but my favorite rhyme is something I did for part of Halach Ma'anya, a word I never otherwise would have used for this, but it made sense and it rhymed, was I said, come inside and take a slice of the Pesach sacrifice.
Nice. I like that.
So, I never would have thought of a part of the Carbon Pesach as a slice, but It worked.
That's good.
And just one other, just to give you a flavor of what another part of the reason is like, which you don't really see in the rest of the Haggadah, is I took like a Vart, a little Dvar Torah in rhyme. And this is how it sounds.
What part of the Haggadah is that in?
This is for Chad Gadya.
Yeah.
I'll go jump all the way to the end.
Right.
I didn't, like I said, for Nirtza, I didn't really do translations. I did summaries or Dvar Torahs in rhyme. So this is an idea of what a Dvar Torah from the Tash Bates in Chad Gadya sounds like. Many have pondered the words of this song and the message they mean to convey. I'm not one to say who is right or who's wrong, but the Tash Bates explains it this way. The author's main purpose in writing these phrases in rather mysterious fashion was targeting minds that like puzzles and mazes and answering riddles with passion. His goal was that as a result of this quest, the attempt to decipher his piece, that we would postpone the time of our night's rest and the talk of our tale would increase.
Amazing. Rabbi Lowy, you did a great job with this. Congratulations. Mazel tov on this. It's really great.
Thank you so much.
And I really do. I hope everyone out there gets it, because I really do believe it will enhance everyone's Seder. Because I think young and old will find it fun and they'll appreciate it, and they'll just it'll bring a smile to everyone's face as they hear all these rhymes and get all the messages that you're bringing across. So congratulations on this.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be on the show.
Rabbi Reuven Lowy, the Rhyme and Reason Haggadah, a poetic translation with rhyming explanation. Check it out, folks. Mosaica Press release, and of course available at all the Judaica stores. Thank you, Rabbi Lowy, and a Chag Kosher v'Sameach to you.
See you too, Nachum.
I know my Pesach will be more fun. I am definitely using this at the Seder. There's no question. I'm going to pick out some poems to use at the Seder on Wednesday night, April the 1st, if you're wondering, folks, when the Seder is. JM in the AM on this Monday morning broadcast.